Hello and welcome everyone. I'm your host Sheikh Suleiman, and today I will be joined with another host, Anne from DocuSign. I represent 4A Apps. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Today's topic is about take your business to the next level with DocuSign and Oracle. As we are trying to help us the best with this topic, so we will run a short video about 4A Apps. 4A Apps is basically an Oracle partner in the region. We born in India, we grew up in Middle East, and we settled in the rest of the world. So apart from Oracle, we do have tie-up with DocuSign, Salesforce, and a lot of software vendors to complement our offering in the region and across the world. So I hope today's session is going to be an interesting one for all the audience. And feel free to drop your questions at the end of the session. I think Anne will have her agenda shared with you shortly. Before Anne take over from me, I will ask Rose to run the introduction video of 4A Apps. Rose, can you do that, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Rose, for sharing the video. And over to you.
Thank you for the introduction. Thanks very much for inviting us as well to be able to engage with your audience today. I'm going to drive you through DocuSign value proposition, how it interacts together with Oracle, and we'll do a little demo as well to see what is the behavior as a sender and as a signer on a DocuSign experience. So let me share my screen first and make sure you can see it, and there we go. Can you confirm you see my screen?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, thanks very much. So yeah, the topic today is really to see how DocuSign can help you, your business moving forward. As I mentioned, we're going to go through DocuSign eSignature with a little overview before deep diving into the interaction together with Oracle and the demo. We'll be happy to take any questions at the end of the session. And also if you have during our presentation, feel free to drop them on the chat because Rose can help us afterwards to deal with that. So first of all, what I wanted to tackle is about priorities for all companies today. We've been through a pandemic, which obviously changed a lot of things, but going digital is not just about handling a pandemic, and we see it was really about an acceleration about how to handle an anywhere economy. So today we see that customers are really willing to have a digital experience and to be able to access to any kind of information on real time. if you have a little look about your workforce experience is also really demanding about having an opportunity to minimize the number of operational tasks, focus on their core business, and they also want to have the ability to increase focus on customer and partner relationship. The workforce is also looking at driving cross-sell and upsell opportunities. So there's really a way to maximize those opportunities. And then there's also something that is really key for all companies today, whatever the vertical and whatever your focus is really about operational efficiency. Turnaround time in hours and not in days is something that is really very impactful on your business. Eliminating errors and avoiding having to rework things is also a way to have more efficiency. Being able to streamline a document generation from processing and downstream workflows and including eSignature and so on is another way to access that operational efficiency. So those are really the three key factors that we are seeing as a priority today and for tomorrow as well. DocuSign, you probably have heard about DocuSign. You probably already had your DocuSign experience signing a document with our platform. And today is more than 1 million organizations using DocuSign eSignature. I'd like to explain why we have that and how we can support you. So what we're seeing is that really agreements are the foundation of doing business. For example, you've got sales contracts. You probably handle employment offering, non-disclosure agreements, offers, contracts, any kind of agreements, in fact. And all those hundreds of type of agreements are touching really every business. And here you have some examples about agreements that can be handled in your company, whether you're sitting in sales, in finance, in procurement, maybe legal, IT operations. So there's really a ton of documents that can be eligible to have this way of acceleration and to have a better way to handle them. DocuSign is digitally transforming how organizations are really supporting all kinds of size of businesses. So for their agreements and contracts, by connecting and automating the entire agreement process, the DocuSign eSignature helps industries and departments to do business faster and with less risks, lower costs, and better experiences for customers and employees. And you're probably sitting in one of those industries. I highlighted with you a website that we have with all the different solutions so that you can also have the opportunity to have a little deep dive if your focus is really about financial services or insurance or healthcare. So we're really here to support you in all your industries. What we see is that signature steps can be fairly complex. As an example here, we have a sales agreement. The selling company sends a draft contract for approval by the customers. Once approved, it is finalized and routed for internal signature and customer signature. Once signed, the agreement and the agreement data is written into a system of record. Concerned parties are notified and downstream workflows such as order management are kicked off. This scenario is likely a best case medium complexity example. And if we have a little look at it, we can see that it involves 14 tasks, 9 hands-off, and upwards of 6 people. And all this being executed through manual disconnected processes. If we have a little look about what is the impact of a lack of digitalization and how we can kind of overcome those negative outcomes, there's mainly 4 issues about that, 4 challenges. First of all, it's costly. Paper-based signature processes involve time and material costs of printing, scanning, faxing, and rekeying data for each agreement. And these costs can quickly add up to tens and in some cases hundreds of dollars per agreement. Second challenge is probably that it is slow. When lacking electronic signature capabilities, organizations must manually mail, fax, email agreements over the signees, wait for them to sign, wait for the agreement to be returned, and then manually process the agreement. And if there are errors, this process must be repeated until the agreement is signed properly. Another thing we have to look at is that really handling paper isn't friendly. Research by Forrester indicates that 47% of organizations deliver poor customer experience because of delays in getting agreements to them or because of errors. And risks as well. Same study about Forrester, 42% of organizations see increased risks due to leaky manual processes that are susceptible for errors and may not be court admissible and are not secure. So all that put together, costs, slow, unfriendly, risky, there's a better way to handle that. And if we look at how eSignature is going to impact on those different assets, we can see that to do business faster and better by delivering mobile and easy-to-use experience to employees and customers is something that is key in today's business. And if we have a little look about across the DocuSign eSignature customer base, 82% of agreements are completed in less than a day and 50% in less than 50 minutes. So paper definitely cannot beat that. And speeding up signing with capabilities such as responsive signing functionalities that automatically adapts the document for mobile of the size and the orientation of the signer device. And it's really very easy on the customer experience to really manage and handle those agreements on a digital way. Another thing that is really has a strong impact is about improve efficiency across your business by automating the preparation of agreements, configuring routing rules, and tracking agreements in real time. And our customers see a saving up to $36 per agreement on average. How do we reach that number? Well, if we have a look about automatically preparing an agreement for signature using our AI-driven document recognition technology that identifies the form fields of the document and appropriately tag them, this has a strong impact on how we manage agreements. And we see that it's really the best way to handle that. Another thing that is really key is really about how we can generate templates and we can automate the way we serve and we deliver some documents. So leveraging our bulk send, our Power Forms features are really also a way to eliminate those manual tasks and to have a better control about how we manage those agreements. Risk is something that we tackled earlier. DocuSign really wants to make it easy for you to enforce compliance with regulations and business policies. There's a complete audit trail in form of a certificate of completion that is automatically generated and stored for each transaction. And this is court admissible. There's evidence about who did what, when, and where is in the signing process. And all those details are really filled in that document, the certificate of completion, which is something that is that goes way beyond what we would have on a paper world. Use agreement templates to ensure that every user within the organization follows the standard workflow for getting approvals and signature. That's also a way to eliminate risks and to make sure that you meet compliance. And further ease to the compliance burden on your organization, DocuSign eSignature is designed to to meet the different levels and the different industry specific. So if you're, for example, in the pharmaceutical industry and you want a solution that is compliant with the CFR 21 Part 11, DocuSign can also help you in there and have you really comply with that regulation about pharmaceutical. And last but not least, about integrations. Many users prefer to work within their system, the systems they use every day, and we're going to look at that a little bit later about DocuSign and Oracle. And with more than 350 integrations, users don't have to learn about other systems. They can really benefit from eSignature functionalities from within the system of their work in today. So having to manually transfer data from agreements into systems of record and needing to manually enact agreements terms in execution systems such as billing opens door for errors and delays in the post-signature process. So by using out-of-the-box integrations and our APIs, you can further integrate the signing experience, and this is something we're going to see with the integration with Oracle. I just wanted, before we go into that deep dive about DocuSign and Oracle, I just wanted to give you an overview. I mentioned in introduction that we had over 1 million organizations using DocuSign. That means that we have more than 1 billion signers across the globe. We're deployed in more than 180 countries. Our platform is available in 44 languages on a signing perspective, which means that it can be pretty flexible when you're doing some business globally. And we also have some advanced levels of signature in order to be able to comply with regulations and to be able to rely on certificate-based digital signature. I wanted to give you also a little bit of an overview about the best brands that trust DocuSign, not because all of those are really large brands. It was more to be able to share with you also the different industries. We mentioned earlier that e-signature and handling an anywhere economy is something that can be for any industry. So whether you're in financial services, in real estate, in the telco industry, you can definitely leverage those best practices to your own business. And now we know that really DocuSign eSignature is part of the DocuSign Agreement Cloud, which is a suite of applications and integrations for the entire agreement process. And with eSignature, you can really get on ramp to other documents, DocuSign Agreement Cloud applications. So for preparing, signing, acting, and managing, all those put together, DocuSign together with for our apps, we can support you. So now we're going to have a little overview about how to get more business done with DocuSign and Oracle. You probably recall that I just mentioned we have more than 350 integrations with applications in the market. And together with Oracle, we integrate with 9 products. So DocuSign works with the Oracle solutions you already use to accelerate how your business is done. By leveraging the pre-built integration, you will help your end customers to be more competitive and close deals faster with DocuSign eSignature, already integrated with many Oracle solutions. You will also be able to streamline business processes and replace manual and paper processed with automated workflows that reduce cycle and save money. And you will get unparalleled security and tap into the state-of-the-art security, compliance, and reliability for digital transaction. Today we're going to make a focus on how customers can simplify their agreements with DocuSign eSignature for NetSuite. In today's business, we see that on an average, users have access to approximately 175 different tools across the organization, which is a lot of tools to handle. At the same time, we see that users can spend up to a whopping 32 days a year just switching between those applications, which has a huge hit to their productivity, especially for common tasks like the routing of documents, forms, contracts for approval, signature. And in an age of app overload, users really want to be able to have a more easier and seamless way to streamline their processes and keep their business moving forward. So DocuSign, as we've seen, we have all the different integrations. Sheikh in the introduction mentioned Salesforce. Obviously, there's Oracle as well, Microsoft, Box, Google, SAP, Okta. All that put together, we know that there's a better way to handle business and to support growth. And it's also a way for you to start with one application and be able to expand within your organization in the different departments to be able to expand on eSignature and add additional value and support to both your employees and your customers. So how can you do this with the Oracle tools you use today? Let's start with Prepare. DocuSign eSignature for NetSuite enables you to sign documents or send documents for signature directly from NetSuite. The integrated experience means less transitioning between applications, as well as fewer manual processes. And your sales and procurement teams can spend more time focusing on their job and less time filling digital paperwork. Next step is about really requesting signature, and using the DocuSign eSignature integration is easy. You can use the documents that you have already ready to go or to generate the document directly from NetSuite. End users can check the status of the agreement directly from within NetSuite, and once the documents have been signed and the agreement is complete, copies of the completed documents are automatically saved back the NetSuite record, so closing the loop of the whole agreement process. DocuSign eSignature can also help automate workflows. In addition to your out-of-the-box processes, you can create some custom workflows using clicks or with codes. And with clicks, we offer a custom button form where users can configure data mapping. This allows documents to be pre-populated with data from NetSuite, eliminating manual data entry and reducing errors. And all that put together, that speeds up the agreement process. Users can also call a DocuSign template for repeat sending, which saves the time of adding the signing fields each time they send a document. And finally, users can create custom processes using scripting. For organizations with more technical know-how, this gives fine-grained control over the process and enable users to utilize the full set of NetSuite's functionalities to plug DocuSign into any custom workflow. So now that we've seen all the different ways about how to use DocuSign, how that can integrate within Oracle, and what would be the benefits of being adding DocuSign to Oracle NetSuite, I'd like to share with you a sort of demo and see what is the experience as a user when you sign a document and when you send an envelope with DocuSign. So for that, I'm going to share my screen with a video this time, and I'm going to drive you through that's really how to sign a document with DocuSign eSignature. So what we see is that when you it will start with open an email that you have received and simply click to review the document. It's once you've clicked to review that document, you'll need to select the box about that you agree to be in a digital record, and you agree to process and to move forward to continue to be able to access to the document. As we're in the signing experience, we can see that we will start about filling all the required fields, and we see that I have a sort of a blue button here who will drive me through all the different tasks that I will have to build to be able to execute that document. That blue tag is moving from one to the other so that I can kind of change and have a fast way to see which field I have to fill in. First of all, I need to select the type of vehicle that I want to contract. And here we can see that I can just check the box and it's available in the system. It's just a pre-built tag, a standard tag that I can add there to select the what I want to pick up. Once I've selected that, I will be proposed to sign the document to make it official. For that, I will, if it's my first DocuSign experience, I will have to adopt a new signature. To adopt a new signature, I can either decide to take that drawing. There's a selected drawing that is available, or I can also draw my signature and directly apply it to the document. So it's really about adding a personal touch and draw my own signature. And with that, I adopt and sign. We can see that there's an image of the signature that is applied on the document, just like I would have done that in a physical world. But recall that in the kind of backyard with the certificate of completion and the audit trail, I'm just tracing every event that is happening on that document. So I will know who logged how, when, everything is timestamped, and all the different events on that document are really followed up and traced in there. And here, so I will adopt and sign to confirm this my signature and finish, and this is it. So you may be asked to create a free DocuSign account if you are a new user to DocuSign, so that you can access afterwards to the document. And or if you already have one, it will automatically populate in your DocuSign system. So we can see here that on a signing perspective, it's really pretty easy. On a sending perspective, we will see that it's also pretty easy as well. So here we will see that how I can send an envelope. So an envelope is really about a container where I will be able to add different documents and to also define a workflow where I will ask the different people to interact with that document. So it's just like a sort of, if you have a physical mail with an envelope, you will be able to add those documents and really to prepare that the same way. Here, in that, we can see here in the platform that I can create a new envelope and really be able to compose my own envelope by clicking send. Once I've clicked send, I have access to the platform, and here I can upload one or several documents from my computer or from another application, as we saw just before in the presentation about NetSuite. And here I will select a document that can be added in there. Once that, here you can see that I've got many ways to really get the documents populated in that envelope. Once I've decided which documents have to sit in there, I can define and specify the recipients or the signers of that document. And here I will be able to add either manually, either automatically, all the different people that need to interact with that envelope. So here I can see that there's a name that is automatically populated with an email address, and I can select as well the action that I'm waiting for that person. So it can be need to sign, it can be taken for receive a copy, add some more information. And just remember that on a recipient perspective, the recipient really doesn't have to have a DocuSign license. The license is beared by the organization, and you make it available for your signers to access to that. And here we can see that I can easily add some recipients. I can decide to set a signing order, and it's really pretty straightforward. Here I can add also some email message. I can kind of custom as well in terms of languages if I want to change the language. So it's really pretty straightforward. I can access also to some advanced options that can be really interesting, especially about automatic reminders, as well as setting expiration dates. So if you're making, for example, a sort of promotion for a new product and you're making a specific price that is available for the month of May, you can decide that all your offering are going to expire by the first day of June, because then after that the offering is not available anymore. So here the expiration date can be also a great way to manage the way you handle your business on specific use cases. So you can define a date, you can define a number of days. So it's really pretty forward. So now that we've defined all the different documents that sit in the envelope, we've defined the process that is going to be followed in that envelope, we can decide what are the fields that will be assigned to one signer or the other and what they will have to do. Here you can see on the left-hand side that there are some standard fields that are available that you can just drag and drop, and all that also can be automated in a template so that the tags are automatically applied to a document. Here we can see that we can do some formatting as well. We can really decide, and it's really very flexible about what kind of information we want to do and to recall from the different recipients. And here, this is the end of it. So it's really very easy. I just decided which document, what would be the workflow, what kind of interactions I expect from those recipients, and I have to click send. And there, all the notifications will be sent to the different people who are involved in that transaction and who will receive a notification by email, just like we saw in the previous demo. So we see that on a signing perspective, it's really pretty straightforward. On a sending perspective as well. So I will be happy to share with you afterwards those links if you want to have a little recall about those experience, and you can try it by yourself. And I think that now, Sheikh, if you agree with that, we can open up to the audience for questions to take them and see how we can support our audience on their feedback and maybe their questions about the presentation.
Sure, and thank you for your presentation. I think we have some chat conversation as well on the Q&A. All right, thank you, gentlemen, for participating in this event. I think we have a good session so far. Prem, can you wrap it up from your side?
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for joining this event. We wanted to keep it short. So just to add on to what Anne and Suleiman was talking about, so DocuSign so can be used along with other products like Fusion, EBS, and HRMS solutions. So there are a number of use cases, not just procurement contract signing. There are whatever document that requires a signature, maybe an offer letter, maybe an HR letter. So any type of document that requires a signature or a verification, so that can be handled in DocuSign. So it can be either as an integrated option with the ERP, or it can also be used as a standalone. So it's up to the imagination of the team and how they want to use this. So to eliminate the complete paper trail and other process. So we have a lot of further development. So if anybody is interested to know more, please feel free to contact your account representatives. I will also drop in our email ID here, the General Sales Inquiries email ID. So we'll be happy to pick it up and respond to you one-on-one. Thank you, Anne, for joining in. And we'll be open for questions for another 5 minutes, and then we will wrap the session up. Thank you, team. Thank you, everybody, for your cooperation.
Thank you, Prem.
Rose, if there are no more questions, we can wrap it up. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Thank you all for joining us today, and thanks to Anne from DocuSign team, and thanks for iApps team for this successful session. Please, if you want to know more about DocuSign, reach out to sales@4iapps.com, and see you in another webinar soon. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.